tried to say was the players get dependent.
Tell them you please go and play.
Mentioned was anything is possible if you need it bad
Many
enough.
times I don't sleep in the night also, just 4-5 hours.
Just take help of the experts because they
The feedback the parents give to the child.
Bhushan, I really congratulate.
It's great to have these talks
Yes, the
between.
parent plays the most important role in a sportsman or players.
See, the belief that sports and academics are
Usain Bolt record, and if you look at these,
Tell us about that toughest phase of your life.
But I got into comfort zone and
see, every day there are so many things which are
one of the biggest problems for athletes who don't understand is that.
But my coach Tripasa, who always motivated me,
there were other riders also, but I was not.
I want to kind of just focus.
2 point of view, what a kid likes and what the parent want them to do, right?
The mentality of every person is a security.
Probably go 70% of my sessions for preparing on my strength.
Like the physical fitness is very crucial when you are actually playing in a tournament.
I think one of the key things is that be courageous.
Hello everyone, welcome to Sports Champ Talk Show, a journey of sports person. I am Bhushan Thakur, founder and editor-in-chief of Sports Champ, a sports education magazine. Our today's show is on Sports Legion's life journey. We have a very special guest with us today who will be sharing his amazing journey, which will inspire and guide many. Let me introduce our special guest for today is Mr. Pravin Thipsay, international chess grandmaster and recipient of Arjuna Awardee in the year 1984 and Shiv Chhatrapati Krida Puraskar in 1977, and also won Dadoji Konde Puraskar for sports coaches in 2001. First Indian to win the Commonwealth Chess Championship in London 1985, and individual gold medal winner in Asian Team Championship 2 times in 1983 and 2003, and national chess champion 7 times, and won numerous medals in national and international tournaments. Presently the chairman of Chess Trainers Commission of All India Chess Federation since February 2021, and the chairman of Asian Chess Federation Trainers Commission, assumed the charge on March 24, 2021. Welcome to the show, Pravinji, and thank you for accepting my invitation and agreeing to share your life journey with us.
My pleasure.
You must have seen some of the shows, Pravinji. What do you think about this platform?
Yes, I think I've seen the magazine as well, and I think it's nice because when you speak of sports magazine, then there are only 1 or 2 names that come to your mind, and yours is a good idea because you cover a lot of things. And of course, this live show particularly is very important because then it keeps you more aware, and particularly at the time of pandemic when there are no tournaments. There's nothing much for a magazine to write, but there's something great that a show can present, some experiences which are, I think, invaluable, but probably not listed in public sort of knowledge.
Yes, thank you so much, Pravinji. And we, as our show goes, we start with a Sports Champ challenge, and I will ask you 7 words, and you have to instantly tell me what first thing or incidents or a person comes in your mind after listening to those words. So are you ready for that?
Well, this seems tough.
My first word is. So my first word is life.
Chess. For me, chess is life.
Okay. Love.
Love? Yes, again chess because my wife is a chess player, former Asian women's champion and Arjuna Awardee Padma Shri winner Bhagyashri, and she's chess colleague. So even love and life both come through chess to me.
So you need to give me whether the love is your wife or the chess. So
well, the first love was chess. Now the wife has overtaken.
Okay. And my third word is friendship.
Friendship, I think every chess player I have, or every colleague where I worked in office, I was in Central Reserve Police Force, I was in bank. So everybody has a friend. I mean, we are in touch even after my retirement from different organizations. And chess players who played National Junior with me in 1974 are still in touch. So I think friendship is every person you meet is a friend.
Wow. Vacation.
Well, I think a relaxed life with no chess coaching, but a lot of chess playing and table tennis and cycling and a little swimming.
Okay, so that is what vacation is for you. So my next word is passion.
Well, again, apart from chess, it's reading. Reading all sorts of books, but particularly classics and fictions generally, not the science fiction, but fictions related to study of human nature. That's a passion. Even personally, I believe in study of human nature. I like to read every person. So I enjoy reading a person and making some observations, only to myself.
Super. And my last two words, and the next word is devotion.
Vishwanathan Anand, who played chess with
Oh.
absolute devotion, and it's. I mean, I've never seen such a dedicated, devoted person who is able to win a world championship at the age of 48 when others have retired before 40. So I think Anand's life is a life of a sort of hermit, a devoted person, devoted for betterment of chess.
Pravinji, here I want to ask you one thing. What, according to you, is the difference between dedication and devotion?
Well, I think not much that, but devotion is giving away absolutely, and dedicated, yes, it's fine, but devotion is something which person is totally more engrossed into. That's what I look at it. And a dedicated person, there can be many dedicated person, but the devotee is always with a sort of absolute belief and no other desire other than what he or she is aiming at. So devotion is, I think, a much greater level of dedication, I would say, and concentration.
Okay. Some years back, I had one of my coach or colleague telling me the difference between dedication and devotion, which I found is dedication means you give what you have, like your time, your effort, your energy. Devotion means you start giving yourself. So when the players start giving themselves to the sport, the champions are born.
Yes, the degree of involvement is different.
That was
wonderful reply, I must say.
Correct. Super. Now we start our questions round. First question will be to you is about your childhood. How you got into chess, and what was your childhood journey like? And when I was researching about you, I came to know that in the year 1972, when you were just 13, you took the decision to change the school to follow your dream of playing chess, and took admission in Balmohan School, where you believe that they support inter-school activities and support sport. So how did you manage to take such decision at such younger age?
Well, actually, it was my mother who was a school teacher she was a municipal school teacher who took the decision.
Okay.
Well, I and my brothers were good at chess. Good in the sense we were able to beat the neighbors and the uncles and aunties, and so that's all. And we were better than others generally in the class. And there was a news. We didn't know that there are tournaments of federation, and there's a news in the paper that inter-school will start in the Diwali vacations. And then I went to the PT teacher and I told them that I would want to play for this. 2 players can play. He said, we do not have the tradition of sending this. We do not have a system. We send only the cricket team. So it was okay. I said, then my mother came to the school. She met the principal. And the principal said, no, we have not done anything. So my mother was a bit surprised. As a teacher, she said, if we don't do anything for the first time, everything that happens for the first time with everybody. So then my mother told me, I mean, I was very disappointed at that young age. So my mommy said that, okay, we'll take admission in a school which is more into sports and also academically good. So Balmohan Vidya Mandir was at that time the best school. I mean, with regard to the results in SSC exam or with regard to the cricket, we won both the Giles and Harris trophies all the time. And it was a wonderful school. And Dada Saheb Rege, Shikshan Mahasi Dada Saheb Rege was something, a personality beyond description. Something of a person of a divine character who would say, I would do everything to see children happy. And when I went there. Then in the mid of the year, after the terminal exam, I was allowed to take part in that school. But by then, I couldn't play in the inter-school that year. But next year I played, and another 2 years I played. So that was, I think, very good. First year, neither did I come first, nor did our school come first. But second year, I came first individually, and our school came first. And it happened for next 4 years, because after I won it twice, and our school won it twice, my younger brother Satish, he and the school won it 3 more times. So we won actually the title, inter-school title, for 5 consecutive years. So I think that was mainly that exposure, because I wouldn't have, if I had not played inter-school, I would not have played chess at all. So that's, I think, a big factor. And the decision was basically my parents. My mother immediately took a decision, because she felt that any talent anybody has, it shouldn't be stopped. So you must be exposed to all sorts of activities, and then you have a chance of growing and you come out with your life. So I think I'm really grateful to the decision of the parents, because I was not in a position to take a decision at the time. But I was very happy.
According to you, the school also plays a very important role. Like those schools who conduct these activities or promote sports or sports person, I think that actually give a lot of encouragement to players to at the initial stage to take up sport. What do you think about this?
Yes, absolutely. Because if it's an activity encouraged by the school, and of course the teachers and the management of the school, other children also probably believe that you are doing something good, and it does help you. And I think it's not only sports, but in every activity, whatever school proves of is always gives you confidence. It gives you confidence that what you are doing is good for the society. And that is, I think, the recognition by the school is recognition by the society, and recognition by the society encourages you. And that is the most important thing, because you really sincerely want to do even better, because you feel that the society is proud of you. So I think school is the most important part of schooling, is the most important part of anybody's life.
Currently, you must be you must be connected to so many schools also. What do you think at your time and now? What is the difference happening? Is it more encouraging more now, or what according to you it is the scenario?
I wouldn't say encouraging more, because my school was the best, I feel, and I haven't seen other schools doing that. But at the same time, I see some schools. For example, in Chennai, there are some schools which really support sports and chess, and they really encourage to in every way. Chennai, and then Vijayawada, and then Guttur, Hyderabad, some of the places, even Delhi. But overall, it's, I think, the outlook of the school principal that decides whether sport will be played or not. In those days when I passed out about almost 50 years back, 47 years back, it was left to the choice of the children. They were allowed to play in every activity, take to every activity. If they excelled, they excelled. School didn't take really much part in their success from that point of view, direct part. Here nowadays we have schools which arrange training, sports training, so they give you some facilities. But at the same time, they also restrict which sport will be played by the school. And I think that's somewhat little upsetting. And one person, the change in the principal often changes the policies. So that's one of the things which didn't happen in those days. When the school gave you everything, all the facilities, and didn't expect much from you. That was, I think, the best time.
Super. You said that your parents, like your mom, supported you a lot. Was the same case with your father also? Like he also supported you, or what type of support you think was given by the parents to you, which actually motivated you to play more or longer?
Well, I think parents support, both the parents equally supported, but we were in touch with mother more. I mean, because daddy used to work and he was a practicing doctor, so he used to come a little late. But yes, they were.
I hope you are not mama's boy. You
no,
mama's boy in the childhood.
Well, I think it was good in a way, because I was closer to mama than daddy, of course. And yes, I think my mother played a role in everything in my life, like in the personality making. Whenever, for example, when I was going to World Junior for the first time, I was only 15 years, and I was alone. and I didn't. That's the first time I was going abroad, and that's the first time I was getting into a flight. And I was from vernacular medium, so I didn't really have knowledge of English well. And it would be very confusing. You go into immigration, you don't know the meaning of immigration, and sort of. And there was no coach, and I was the only player because I was the Indian champion, so in the juniors. And I was going to Yugoslavia, where there's a change of flight, and Rome also. But okay, my mother said that okay, you're going to make it successful, and if you don't understand something, ask somebody. So generally, don't be shy. If you are worried about something, ask somebody. And that's what happened. Whenever I had some doubt, I asked, and the hospitality was great, and the people also realized that this boy is alone and one of the youngest. So I got more attention. So that way, I think the self-confidence building, that was by parents a lot. My father was a freedom fighter, and he was a practicing doctor, and my mother was a teacher in municipal school. So we always had a lot of school children, municipal school children at home, and sports and everything was given a lot of importance. So whatever one wants to do, we were allowed to do. At the same time, the confidence building. We, like, whenever I took on something, I wouldn't be discouraged. And whatever decisions I took, my parents always supported. Like I decided to join Central Reserve Police Force in 1981. It's a very tough decision because Central Reserve Police Force used to be on borders at that time. There's no BSF in those times. So I was in Internal Security Academy, which is now moved to Hyderabad. It was in Mount Abu then. So I decided because they had a chess team. So I told my mother that I was going to do this, and I was not going to pursue some other professional career. Parents said, yes, fine, whatever you want is there, whatever you earn, everything is left to you. You lead your own life after 20. After I passed out post-graduation, they said, you are entirely at disposal to do whatever you want with your life. And even the education, they allowed me to choose my college, they allowed me to choose my course for graduation and post-graduation. So we had absolute freedom. And if we did wrong somewhere, there was a sort of gentle feedback that this is not correct, which was very good as well. No discipline from that point of view, but they always told us whenever we were wrong.
So, such a fantastic parents you had. I guess that was one of the biggest pillar, which I can say for any sports person, that is very much required to take the sports further. And considering the same thing, if I ask you, you must be now coaching so many students, youngsters. What type of parents, how the parents behave nowadays? They try to push their kids to a different limit or a different working altogether. What do you think is the difference, and what guidance you would like to give to those parents also?
Well, I think, yes, what you're saying is correct. Parents expect too much from children first. And probably whatever they could not achieve, the parents want their children to achieve. And that's a wrong way of looking at it, because every child is different. And every child should be allowed to excel in what the child loves to do. A person will excel only if a person loves the activity. If I had been asked to play a game like, say, tennis, a great game, but I wouldn't have been very successful in that, because I didn't have the passion to feel like playing tennis or table tennis. I had a passion for chess. So similarly, I think that parents don't understand. Parents have some passion and they want children to pursue that passion. That's one of the drawbacks. Very often, the parents of unsuccessful children interfere with the coach. I mean, they do not interfere with my activity, but the previous coaches have told me that there's a lot of interference from the parents of this player, and they even want to decide the syllabus themselves. Now that's something very bad, and it happens only with not so good players, because what you can say is the parents who put such pressure, the children are not able to do well. And all the successful students I had, so many grandmasters and international women masters and grandmasters, the former national champions in women category, including my wife. So all this, they did not have any pressure from the parents about excelling. They were allowed to do whatever they want. They were given the facilities, and there's no sort of accountability with regard to performance. And that is, I think, important, because accountability, a person himself or herself sets accountability. If I do something and if I lose in tournament continuously, I'm going to take steps to recover. I'm going to take steps to improve. It's not that parents' interference is going to do that. I myself have that responsibility. I'm going to do that. And that every child loves that confidence shown to you by the parents, allowing you to take your own decisions. When you don't do that, the children don't excel. And I've seen ample examples. 99% children fail not because of their potential, but because of parents' incorrect interference. I think those who are watching, the parents, be very careful.
Yes. No, it's very important for many to understand this, how much to push and when to stop also. So this there's a very fine line between that. So that every person, whether it's a parent or a coach, both has to understand the same thing. I need to understand who was your coach and what was your coach role in your life. Your parents played a fantastic role in your life. So what was your coach role in making you a champion or taking you to big heights?
Yeah, those are the days when chess was not very popular, and sports itself, there was no sports awareness. In the 70s, there wasn't sports awareness at all. Sport was something, there was a proverb, I think, padhoge, likhoge, banoge nawab, or kheloge, kudoge, hoge kharab. That was a very common approach in India, and that happened with in Maharashtra as well. This time, what I'm speaking is about North India, but it happened in India as well. And nobody thought that it could be taken professionally. So coaching was not possible. Then we didn't have the financial condition that would offer professional coaching anyway. And coaching was not available. But I must say that my parents taught me the game. But it's not only me they taught. They taught my elder brother and my younger brother as well. So my younger brother was on the other end. He was the first national champion of our family. He won the national sub-junior champion before I won the national junior. So, and my elder brother was one of the best players in India in the 70s. And he went into judiciary and retired as a high court judge. So as he entered in the judiciary, he stopped playing. But he was a very strong player, and he was my coach. He basically trained me. He got Dadoji Kondrev Sports Award from the government of Maharashtra also for the various students he coached. But then he had to stop playing, and he won the bar and benches tournament and government tournaments many times, and he stopped playing. So his role was to teach me. Apart from that, I didn't know English well because we were both from vernacular. He was in a different standard, 4 standards ahead of me. So he also translated many times what was written in the books when we got hold of the books. And I must say a special thank to the great players from Mumbai at that time. In the early 70s, the players from Mumbai dominated the Indian chess field. The first national championship was won by Ramchandra Sapneji, and there was Shri Krishna Sakhalkarji, who had come twice in national championship, second twice, and many others, Suresh Shaligram, and so many, Avinash Aute. But these particularly, Sapre and Sakhalkar, these people were sort of a great source of knowledge. I don't know where they got the knowledge because they didn't have any books, and these people were as good as today's masters, at least international masters, and some of them could have become grandmasters. And these great people, great players and great people. When I was a bad player and I entered the club, and when I didn't know anything, they always, whenever I suggested a move, I never got an empty answer. They could sometimes make fun of me that what a silly question, and they would reply to what was silly about it. So basically, apart from Abhay, there's so many other. Abhay is my elder brother. So apart from Abhay, there's so many other top Bombay players who were also able to train me. And then I took when I was able to beat my brother, then I took the role of Ekalavya. I started reading and trying to understand, and I started reading autobiographies of top players. And then there was a great personality, Grandmaster Yuri Averbach, visiting Mumbai. Yuri Averbach is the eldest living Grandmaster. He's 99 years of age now. He visited Mumbai in the 70s, and that was the first Grandmaster I saw, because there was only one Grandmaster in Asia in those days. And interacting with him was of immense help. He really changed my thinking process. I really understood what a chess player needs to think. What I myself derived from his way of talking is, in chess, what is to be done and why it is to be done is to be understood before doing how it is to be done. So that's what I learned from him. He never said in those words, but in every science or something, you must know what is to be done and why it is to be done. I think in a game, for example,
can you elaborate that line which you said?
Yeah, for example, if you look at the knowledge,
can you elaborate that which you said? What you learned?
what is to be done, why it is to be
Yes.
done, and how it is to be done. Yes, I think very important, because if you look at knowledge angle, you can say that Anand has all the knowledge which Carlson has, or probably Nakamura and everybody. Then why a player A is able to beat player B? First of all, when there's a unequal battle, when somebody doesn't know, you play a match, you don't know what to do. You have it's a time-bound game, so you have to take some time to decide on what you do, and then you have to reason out why you want to do that, which is not always so easy.
Correct.
And then you have less time left to execute that. So increase your knowledge to a level that what is to be done, and if somebody says that in this position this should be done. So for example, Anand tells me in this position this should be done. I don't ask him, I don't waste his time, but I come home and try to find out why Anand said that. And once I know that, then when I go to the match, I know what is to be done and I know why it is to be done. So only how it is to be done is to be found out. I'll quote an example from Carlson's Anand match, where Carlson was asked a question, which is the game he won. People asked that was it not heading towards obvious draw after this match? So he said, I didn't find any such possibility. So even I felt that it could have been drawn. So I went home, and by 3:30 a.m. in the morning, I realized what Carlson meant. Usually that particular position could be drawn, but this particular position could not be drawn. And I found out, and then I texted to all my friends. There's something new I learned, because I learned something in the 70s, and in 2013 I found something which was only 90% truth, 10% exceptional truth was not known to me. So that is because of the habit, which was, I think, inculcated because of some of my Soviet trainers' time, and sort of when we had camps abroad, when we had camps in USSR, we got training from other great coaches as well, Averbach and Taimanov, some of the greatest players. So yes, what I learned was be very objective and try to go to the depth of it. Once you are, once the depth of your knowledge is great, you're going to last here. You're not going to win a championship for 1 year and fade away. Most of the champions, what happens? They come by a sort of streak of luck sometimes, or the streak of the best of their energies, but they don't have the knowledge or the basis required for that. So they fade away quickly in 1 or 2 years. But if you have to remain, if you have to last long, then you should have a very solid base. And that I learned to create from these great players. And my brothers, one of the important preachings is, if you find a mistake in your game, admit it, not only to yourself, admit it to public. So make it clear that you were wrong during that game. Only then you will improve. If you say that I was correct, you're likely to repeat the same mistake again. So I think that I'll never forget.
Accepting it. Basically accepting it.
Yes, accepting your shortcomings.
Correct. I need to understand one thing, Pravinji. You said something very profound here. When you go home and you actually indulge yourself to find out why this has happened. So now I need to understand, when you say why you need to find out, what is the process you follow to find out? Whether you do a lot of analysis, or you need to search out, or how your mind pattern works, or what is your pattern to find out why?
No, actually, I don't analyze till I look for ideas. So first I look for ideas. If I lose a game, for example, then I try to justify that, okay, so others have played this and my opponent beat me in this way, but nobody played this against Kasparov. So obviously there is some solution to what my opponent played. So what ideas do I have? So there I don't even need a chessbook. I just think in blindfold what ideas I could have. What would have been better? Where should my army have been? Because chess is a game of warfare, and all the principles that apply to warfare do apply. So I found that I was weak on some side. And there are two things. One is to go for a counter attack or defend your weakness. I tried to defend my weakness and it did click. Then I tried many times. What I did is I tried to find a way to counter it, and it often works. So once you get an idea, you get a couple of ideas which you should and could have tried. Now you analyze them with proper mathematical ability. So arithmetics comes only when the ideas actually occurred, because game of chess is an art, combination of art and science. So the artistic idea must first occur to you, and then you analytically analyze it, because 99 ideas out of 100 could be wrong. They could be arithmetically wrong, mathematically wrong. Like I want to fly in sky with my hands. It's not possible. It's a great idea, but I don't have wings. So the idea must sustain. So naturally, I look at 4 or 5 ideas and then analyze them and come at 1 or 2 correct ideas. So I think that's the reason why it takes late in the night as well.
Correct. And I personally believe chess is the mother of all sport, I guess, because it teaches you so many moves, how to be analytical and workings. I think if someone follows that properly, it can also be whatever you are saying. It can also be followed or implemented in any other sports also, like the way of planning, the way of formation.
Also in life, I think. In fact, I'll quote what Sunil Gavaskar said in one of the sports functions in 2006 in Mumbai. He said that I think every cricketer should learn chess. That's what he said. So probably he restricted himself only to his fraternity. But yes, because that sort of forethought or insight that is developed with chess, I think that is very important, and every sportsman or every individual benefits by playing chess.
What is your mental preparations? What you used to do for mental preparations for handling pressures, or like what used to be your process for that?
Well, when I was really playing well, at that time I just preferred to be silent and not to be disturbed with other things. I took as much rest I could take because the games used to be 5.5 hours, and it was my practice that I wouldn't even drink a glass of water during the matches because I was so engrossed, I wouldn't eat anything. So my idea was to have a very good lunch and then take proper rest. But even before lunch, like there used to be one match a day in the afternoon. So after breakfast, I would study. Then I would start taking rest. So it doesn't mean necessarily sleeping, but rest to your eyes, close your eyes, and not to speak to anybody. And very often, my wife and we both used to play. So there was no interaction before the game very often. The interaction only was after the game very often because both of us understood and we just rested in the way to keep. Because I think one of the important things for a sports person is rest as well. You must be very well prepared for the match, and being at best of your energies is the one. So how you can channelize your energies. For me, rest was the best thing. Anand also has a nap before the match. That is his way. Bobby Fischer had a different thing. He was so energetic that he played before the World Championship. He played half an hour, 45 minutes tennis, and then he swam. And then he used to study and go directly lunch and match. So there he had that sort of energy, which probably I don't have. So it's again depends on the individual. Kasparov also believed in taking rest before the match.
And related to goal planning, how you used to do plan your goals, short term, long term? What was your process, and what will be your guidance to the upcoming players on the same line? How to do goal planning?
Yes, I think goal planning is very important. And okay, we don't always do it consciously. But when I saw first Grandmaster in my life, Yuri Averbach, I'd seen many great players. As I said, Shikhar Sakalkar, Ramchandra Sapre, Suresh Shaligram, they were all great players. But when I saw this gentleman, and I felt that there was something great about him, and he was a source of knowledge in every field. And then I said, after he left, I said that I want to be like him. I want to be a grandmaster because to me, his personality was I only acknowledged him as a grandmaster. So whatever the knowledge came to him was not obviously because of chess, but I said I want to be like him, and it was my goal to become a grandmaster, and that's the way I started. But things were different. Sport was only a part of your life, only one or not. It was not professional activity. So I finished my graduation. I finished my post-graduation. I came first in the college. I got distinction in drugs and antibiotics, which was a very good subject. So now I had an option of doing PhD in drugs and antibiotics, a very important subject in the 80s, or to join a pharmaceutical, so a good post, or to try to go to Western world for research or anything else. So these options were there. At that time, I decided to play chess for 2 years. So I consulted my parents and I said that yes, I want to play chess for 2 years. And if I become national champion in these 2 years, or if I become international master, which was, I think we had only 3 international masters in India then, 3 or 4. So I said, if I become that, then I will not go to the chemistry line again. I'll play chess. I'll go for higher goals. Otherwise, I'll give up my dream of becoming Grandmaster. So in very first attempt, I was able to become the national champion because I was already a strong player. I was the strongest rated player. I was top seed in the first national championship I played because I played it after post graduation. And then after that, I became a member of Indian team. I captained the Indian team, and I defeated so many grandmasters. I became international master very quickly. So then I told my parents that I was going to pursue this, and then I set a goal of becoming a grandmaster in 3 years, and I actually made a grandmaster now in 1985. Now, what happened subsequently was different. The FIDE, the World Chess Federation, changed the time control. So we had 2.5 hours for 40 moves, and the opponent would have 2.5 hours 40 moves. So in effect, we were playing a 5 hours game with a lot of time, and then reduced it half an hour each. So it made it 2 hours. And I started losing on time. I was not able to complete the moves. So even if I was in good position, I lost. And I dropped down. My rating came down by 150 points. I lost national championships many times. And then I recovered to that. I changed my style. Because I said, I already become international master. The highest title is international grandmaster. So I tried. I got one more norm. So I repeated the performance. First was in 1985 when I got one norm. To repeat it twice, 86 never provided me opportunity because I had become a much worse player in the new time control. So I recovered, and in 1994 I made a second grandmaster norm, and I was very happy. I was going to make the third norm, and suddenly my mother passed away, and that was a jolt, I think. Also, the FIDE also made their time control even faster. So 95 was my worst year, and 96 I recovered, and then 97 I came back, and my peak was perhaps between 94 to 97 when I actually became grandmaster. So the journey, which probably I intended to start in 1973-74, and where actually I started in 1981 or 82, it's halted in 85, and eventually I arrived at what I dreamt of in 97. A long journey, but I didn't give up. I think that was important. And being passionate, equally passionate about your dream, even after 24 or 25 years. That is, I think, something is required. You should be obsessed with that dream, and you should be willing to give up other things for that. Correct. Otherwise, you may not always achieve success.
You need to be a fighter, consistent fighter.
All the time. For every sport, but chess player even more so.
Correct. Which was your toughest match of your life, and why you think, if there is a toughest match of your life, I definitely feel there must be one, and why you think that was your toughest match?
Well, I think a game I lost to Vishwanathan Anand in 1990. That was the toughest match because he had already become grandmaster. He was almost in top 8 in the world, and he was the strongest player in Asia. And I was playing against him, and I got into a very difficult situation. If I had to win, I had to beat him in order to get a grandmaster norm. I was only 1 point away, and a draw wouldn't suffice. And that was a most difficult match because the time came when I could have repeated a move and made a draw. But then it would have been spoiling the chance of becoming a grandmaster. So it was the toughest game and toughest moment. I did take the risk, and it wasn't correct because Anand was a much better player than me. He was always been. And he beat me in a very very simple way after I deviated the path. So he told me that you should have actually repeated the moves here. So I perhaps knew that, but it was a courageous step I took. But I think a difficult match because I was sort of playing against my hero, and I wanted to beat my hero because that would really make me grandmaster. And then that was an opportunity. So fear and so excitement, everything was there, and it turned out to be a difficult match, which I lost badly. But very tough to beat your idol as well as somebody who's really so strong.
Here I want to understand one more thing is which is your life transformation story or biggest decision of your life?
I think my marriage with Bhagyashri was, I think, a very important decision, and things happened this way. He was a good player, but she was from Sangli. So although we saw each other in 1974 We had not spoken to each other till 1982 when she was a regular member of Indian team, and then in 1984 we both won the national championship. So we played a lot of tournaments, and she moved to Mumbai. Actually, in 1983 she moved to Mumbai, and we became close friends. And then after 2 or 3 years of close friendship, then it was sort of we developed more gentle feelings towards each other, a sort of tenderness, and we got married.
Correct.
So major decision, because when I look at other chess players giving up chess because of the family life, I think what a big sort of great luck I had to have a wife who is a Arjuna Awardee and a Padma Shri and a Asian champion. Apart from that, a chess lover who is always willing to discuss chess. Like at night, for example, at 1 o'clock, I wake her and ask her, "I found this move. Is it good?" Then she would obviously look at the board and she would say, "Yes, it's good," or "It's not good." So it's completely different than marrying a non-chess player. So I think that was a major decision.
You waking her up at 1 o'clock and asking for chess moves, I think she will be definitely very happy to answer. I don't know.
Not really happy, but it would be much worse if my wife was not a chess player.
Correct. That will not be an option altogether. So, Pravinji, my one question to you is, what is your one X factor in you which keeps you ahead in your life? What is that one X factor?
I think my desire to find out why something is such. I am very sort of inquisitive in life. So if I find something unnatural, even proper life in life also, so I try to find out why it is so. If somebody is not behaving well, if some children are hyperactive and something, I always try to reason out with everything. And I think the big advantage I have is I'm always in a position to be in somebody else's position. If I have to find out behavior of someone, something which is incorrect according to me, I try to be in his or her position and then I analyze. So it gives me a justification. So being able to understand other human beings well, I think that I think is an important factor, because I know it makes a lot of friends. It makes a lot of friends because you understand others. So even those who have offended you, you understand them. So you behave in a way which doesn't offend them, and you are basically left with no enemies that way. So I think it's very important to understand other people, and that is my quality from childhood. I didn't speak much, and I always listened to others, and I always reasoned. And if I were to question someone, I would do it individually. Even if I felt that my student was not correct, I wouldn't ask the student in a class. I would ask the student individually, not even before the parent. Why did you do this? This is not correct. So I think that is trying to understand personality, I think, is very important to everybody. It makes me happy.
Super, Pravinji. Now we start our 60-second rapid fire questions, and I hope you are ready with that.
Please.
My first question to you, which you have to answer in one word or one sentence, which is what you love the most.
Chess.
Okay. Something for which you can die for. It's a tricky one.
Well, I think family. Yes, family. I think mainly family and some friends, perhaps, but family for sure, and nation, of course, if it's a requirement, your country. Because I was in Central Reserve Police Force for 2 years, so that's always for a soldier. It's always a important matter. But family, yes.
Your idol. Who is your idol?
A chess player idol, I think Gary Kasparov, and in life, Albert Einstein.
Okay. Which is your biggest fear?
I haven't feared anything actually. I mean, I haven't been afraid of anything generally. So I faced the challenges. I didn't see. I mean, I don't think I have such a great fear. Perhaps losing a friend is the biggest fear, I think.
Okay. What last thought before going to bed?
Well, how was the day and what's going to be the next day? I just revise things and then take out the happiest things of the day and look for the day with equal enthusiasm next day.
Okay. Your first crush.
First?
It's a tricky one. Your first crush. Your first crush.
Okay, probably it was in a it was in college in the post graduation. Before that, I didn't have, but there's a girl whom I never spoke to, and I never met her after that. I saw her during the class. That's all. She was from a different college, and during post graduation, we only were there in class. So I never talked to her. I only know her name. That's all. We never met. We never really met.
Wow. That's a hidden love.
I mean, okay, that's appreciation.
Correct. What one thing you hate the most?
I think selfish and one-sided behavior with ego. I think I hate people with egos and I avoid interacting with them. And those who don't mind insulting people. So sort of ego and sort of rough behavior to others. Violating the basic human-to-human decency. Considering yourself different than others. I think that's really.
One thing you miss the most?
Well, I think performance-wise, a lot. I could have done much better, chess-wise. And in life, perhaps I wanted to do a lot of tourism. I visited almost 50 countries, but I didn't really did any tourism. We went to the tournament hall. I mean, we went to the city, we played the tournament, and we came back next day. So, though I visited 50 countries, I didn't really visit them. I didn't see the important places. I think I missed that because it was a great opportunity, and that I would really like to do after the pandemic is over.
That happens with every sports person. Even I have visited 40 plus countries, but you just go to the hall, your hotel, and the transport, and come back. You and the flight, even the airport, you must have seen, but you have not seen the city at all.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So that's what I want to make up for that after pandemic now.
Correct. One thing world does not know about you.
Well, that basically I'm a very shy person, and I was an introvert for many years till I got into a bank job where I was made a sort of in the publicity and interacting people. So where I had to interact with 200 people every day, and I had to mold my personality. But I was a very shy and introvert person till I assumed this job, who rarely spoke to strangers, and that probably today's people don't know because now I'm very friendly with everybody.
Correct. Best advice you have ever given?
Pardon?
Best advice you have ever given to someone?
I think to our son, that is never to judge anyone, which he has really adapted because he's an advocate and he's one of the most balanced persons, I would say, most unprejudiced. And that is the sort of advice that never judge anyone and think about that. I think that's the best advice probably that one doesn't. And our son really follows that.
Super. Fantastic one. And next one is best advice you have received from someone.
Well, I learn from everybody. I like to take the best things of everybody, so it's difficult to know. But again, I think it's if you talk of chess, purely of chess, then some of the comments Vishwanathan Anand made, and about life, if you think, then probably what I got the advice from the books of former world champion Botvinnik. He was so clear in his views that the advice about how a practical player thinks and how a practical player succeeds. So with that, I think Botvinnik was an example of how a chess player should be. He never wasted a slightest of his energy, and he became world champion fast. So what are the piece of advice? How to make best use of your energies and qualities? That's, I think, the best advice I got from Botvinnik. I unfortunately I never met him, but I read everything about him.
Super. One thing you would like to delete from your life?
Delete? The FIDE decision to change the time control in 90. delete from the life?
Yes. One thing you would like
to life would have been completely different if FIDE had not changed that time control. I would have been a grandmaster in 1986, and the life might have been different. I even don't know. But that one decision which professionally affected me, I think that's the one decision I would really like to do away with my personal life. With regards to country, of course, many things.
Correct. And my last question is your favorite song, and if we would like to hear that song from you, which will be a treat to everyone in the country.
I wouldn't be really able to sing, but Ye Zindagi Usi Ki Hai, that is from Anarkali film, Lata Mangeshkar's song. I think that I really love. And
like to hear. This is your time.
ये जिंदगी उसी की है जो किसी का हो गया प्यार ही में खो गया. So forgive me for my missing the sur and tal. It's my favorite song.
Not about it's the passion which has to be there. Fantastic, Pravinji. And before we log off, what you would like to address to all the listeners, sports people, sports parents, and the entrepreneurs, everyone, which will make them a fighter in life as you are?
I think it's very important for everybody to be an independent thinker. You should learn to think independently. And as Albert Einstein has said, that basically it's not what is education. Albert Einstein says education is the training of mind to think. And obviously, education is not remember when Raja Shivaji Maharaj was born, not that year, but to think. And the real education is about thinking. So we must make sure that our children are able to think. We are able to think, and we are not we are not a robo. We are not a machine to produce the same thing. We should be able to think, and ability to think, which is reducing a bit because of the objective nature of examinations. I think must be tackled. All the successful people are more or less the ones who are able to do something creative. And it may not happen. People who came first in the board exams are not the people who top in the end. That is because in the board exam is your memory test. And subsequently, it's the test of your creativity, your ability to think, and your ability to think independently. So try to be an individual thinker. Don't try to go away by somebody else's hope. Try your own reasoning. And with regard to sports parents, please do not interfere with the syllabus of the coach or the plans of the coach. Coach has seen many students, many bright students, and unfortunately, every coach also sees students which are unsuccessful because of undue interference of parents or because of excess pampering by parents of the child. So nobody is the best. Nobody is born best, and nobody is born worse. It's your hardship and your passion that gives you. You can look at Thomas Alva Edison, who said that a genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. And Thomas Alva Edison himself failed in over 850 attempts before making an electric bulb. So had Edison given up his attempts after 800, we would be reading in candlelight. So I think efforts are to be continued, and there's nothing like a genius person. And I would also say what Vishwanathan Anand said, to be able to work hard is also a talent. Develop that talent. It's also very important, I think.
What a fantastic piece of advice, Pravin. Pravinji, this is super. And I think this will guide and inspire many. Thank you so much for your time for this show. Thank you so much.
My pleasure being with you.
Dear viewers, I hope you must have enjoyed the show and also learned a lot from this episode. Keep watching and keep liking. Thank you, Pravinji. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.